Holy. Well. It's gonna be the whole stream. Yeah. I figured since usually YouTube takes like 3 minutes to send out invites, I'd just go, grab myself a drink. Yeah. Taking advantage of YouTube's ineptitude. You're drunk and full of paprika? What are you gonna do for your birthday? A show. Yeah, we got a show, so I'll be working. Yeah, birthday is synonymous with work day for me because you don't get to take your birthday off when when it's April Fool's Day. I mean, you can request the day off or whatever, but I just never really have. Birthday equals work day. Yeah. Are you pregnant? I am pregnant. I think on Thursday. So my birthday is technically tomorrow, but I think on Thursday we're going to go and get we're gonna go to this Mexican place around here that I really like. When I say we, I'm inviting everybody, all of the dudes and their wives and family, that sort of thing. How old are you gonna be? 39. I'll be 39. The big 3-9. Pretty insane. Don't worry, I don't really care. I'm not worried about it at all. I like working on my birthday. I like working, period. I don't know. I remember being all wound up about turning 30. And I remember turning 29, having this real sense of dread about man, I'm 1 year from 30. This year, I don't really feel that. Not yet, at least. Maybe it'll kick in when I get really, really close to 40. But I was born almost exactly 20 years after you were. God damn. Dude, it's actually cold out here today. I'm gonna need to go get I was not prepared for this. I'm gonna get a sweater real quick. Because okay, that's better. Now I feel a little bit better. Let's put this up too. Yeah, all right. Now I look worse, but feel better. Talk about Dinor. Yeah, he's got this. You ever read the Dr. Seuss book of the Lorax or seen the horrible movie? I always call his tail a truffula tree because I think it looks like a truffula tree. Who will speak for the trees? You wish you had a big beard. Yours is half my size. Well, just stop cutting it. You'll get there. You'll probably exceed mine, honestly. I've got a particular kind of beard that doesn't get, I don't think I'm gonna get much more than this, you know? So you might be able to outgrow my beard. While you were gone, Dinor jumped on the chair, stared into the camera, twisted his head around, and spoke in tongues. Cool. We've got a devil dog. Are you gonna get a Mexican Coke at the Mexican restaurant? They have them, so I probably will. Yeah. I'll probably get Mexican Coke. It's a good one to wash down a meal with, you know. Ooh, that's a good point though, Sarah. Horchata. I don't know if they have it at the place we're going. I bet they do though. Bet they do. Is Mexican Coke more sweet? Not necessarily more sweet. It just uses like cane sugar rather than corn syrup, which gives the sweetness like a different character. It tastes more like ice cream sweetness than, you know, like soda sweetness, I guess, is the best way to describe it. And for me, it tastes like Coke tasted when I was a kid, before they switched to corn syrup and shit. So. Life advice for a virgin who just turned 18, please. Number 1, stop classifying yourself as a virgin. Whether or not you've had sex or not makes no bearing on your life whatsoever. So stop introducing yourself as a this many year old virgin. That's the kind of thinking that allows virginity to pervade and perpetuate itself. What's Coke gonna taste like 20 years from now? Who knows? Just some kind of fucking horrible chemical cocktail. Yeah, I don't know if it's the glass. I don't think the glass bottle has anything to do with it, but Mexican Cokes are bottled in glass, like old Cokes used to be. When I was a kid, you could still go into the store and get an American bottle of Coke. Like that was, you know, you could get like a tall bottle of Coke. That's how you got your Cokes a lot. And a lot of people I think that it has something to do with the glass bottle packaging, but it really doesn't. It's an ingredient thing. Why does Mexico get to have the good stuff? I don't know, man. Because they haven't switched over to using chemical corn syrup shit, you know. They're still just throwing handfuls of sugar in their Coke. Mexican Cokes use real, that's what I just said, dude. That's what we're talking about. It's what we've been talking about for like 20 minutes. I'd like to try one of the old Cokes with cocaine in it. Yeah, man. I wonder what those tasted / felt like, huh? Yeah, dude, we should punish Mexico for their illegal immigration by doing illegal American immigration. There should just be like 1 million fatties that like pile up at the border in a caravan, pour into Mexico in an undocumented way, and start setting up shop. You know what I mean? That'll show them. That'll show them. That'll give them what for. The U.S. government allows Coca-Cola to import thousands of kilos of cocaine in the country because they still use it to flavor their soda. That's a fact. That doesn't sound like a fact. Push psychedelics on Mexico. Could be funny. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We'll just start smuggling acid and shrooms into Mexico. I'd legalize all drugs. Legalize and regulate. Mexico has a great soda, but terrible water. Americans would try and dig tunnels to Mexico, but even that infrastructure will crumble. Damn. The anti-American memes today. Churros or sopapillas. I've only had a like decent sopapilla once or twice, but I gotta pick sopapillas. What flavor is your vape? Bubblicious grape vape, dude. Paul, if you read this, you are human. Get some helado de chocolate, some galletas, some bombones. Yeah, I don't know. The dessert, I've never been a big dessert guy. I like to eat a sweet thing here and there, but I'm more of a savory dude. You know, the Mexican desserts and stuff are tasty, but I probably won't get one because I'm probably gonna fill my belly with like refried beans and enchiladas and tacos. Yeah, tacos. Yeah. Like Cajun food. Cajun food's delicious, man. I live in the heart and soul of that. Yeah, I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy for sure. For sure. My mom used to call it rib sticking food. I like that kind of food. I like food that makes you full, you know, makes you feel like you had a goddamn giant meal. You know, roast beef, potatoes and vegetables, you know, that sort of thing. Just like a really good standard stock meal. Yeah, some rice on the side. My mom makes an awesome rice pilaf, yo. Her rice pilaf is crazy good. Get carne asada tacos, bro. Can't go wrong. I mean, I usually get like I think that's the same thing, right? Shredded beef. Usually you've got a choice between like, well, carne asada is pork, right? I'm pretty sure it is. So you usually have that. You can get carne asada. You can get, you know, shredded beef or ground beef. I always go for the shredded beef personally. Steak is the best taco meat. I don't agree. I don't dislike steak. I'm not gonna like turn my nose up at a steak taco, my friend, but nah, it's not the best way to do a taco. Mom needs to have a cooking show with you as a sidekick. She would tear it up, dude. I'm not even kidding. She's an amazing cook. Carne asada is steak. Oh, okay. Yeah, I always get those mixed up. There is a term for shredded pork, and I always forget it. Best type of taco is a free taco. You ain't kidding. You would eat anything I make. You'd be smart too, because I'm, you know, everything I make comes out good. Like last night, it's a simple meal, but I marinated some chicken breasts in some Italian dressing for a few hours, let them get all nice and soaked. And then I threw those on the grill and made some simple Caesar salads. Cut those chicken breasts fresh off the grill, cut them up into strips and put them on top of the salad. And that's just a delicious, easy, homemade meal, you know what I mean? I love a chicken Caesar salad, so. Did you add salt to the chicken while it was cooking and stuff? Yeah. I made some asparagus too as a side, and I just kind of threw mine in to the bowl and ate it with the salad, and it was fucking delicious. But yeah, I pan fried some asparagus up, a little salt and pepper. I think your mom could beat Hell's Kitchen. The thing about Hell's Kitchen that I think might stymie my mom is she's older now, you know, so she takes her time cooking, and that's that. It's not really an environment to take your time cooking in, you know. When we switch to an insect-based diet, what insect of choice would you use to substitute the meat in your Mexican recipes? Crickets. Delicious crickets. Describe your mom in 3 words. It's hard to pick the 3 words. You know, you got to be economical. You want to pick the 3 right words. Strong, funny, and loyal. I think those would probably be the 3 words that typify my mother the best. Paul and Paul's mother should have a show, and the only role Paul should have is to add salt to any dishes. Yeah. I'm good at that. Sprinkle a little salt on it. Is she a bodybuilder? Yeah. Yeah, she's ripped. Chocolate-covered ants actually... chocolate-covered anything tastes good. I mean, come on, man. You could get a rat turd off the ground and dip it in chocolate, and people would be like, not bad. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Pretty chocolate. I want to make you food. Cool. Yeah, come on over and make me some food, yo. I'm never going to say no to that. What do you cook? What do you make? What's your specialty? What can I expect? All right, Peaches, now I need you to add that salt. Yeah, Mom, I got it. Speaking of Mom, I got to call Mom. I got to call Mom tonight or tomorrow. She sent me some presents for my birthday that I'll open tomorrow. Got to give her a call. Say hello, say I love you. You know how to boil water? That's step one. You can make a lot with some boiling water. You can do some crazy things with boiling water. I can't cook. Can I just buy you some Taco Bell? I'm down for that too. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and tell you that it's as exciting as somebody coming and cooking me a home-cooked meal, but yeah, I'll take some Taco Bell. Any rap in your playlist? Lots of rap in my playlist, my friend. Why do you guys not have a P.O. box so I can send you stuff like D&D figures? I don't know, man. I got sick of asking about it because here's what would happen. I would ask the guys like, didn't we get a P.O. box when we first moved down here? And I'd get an answer like, yeah, but nobody, I don't know who has the key. And I'll go like, oh. What do you think? Like maybe we could go down there and have them give us a key? Yeah, I'll do that. And then nothing happens, and I never hear about the so I just stopped asking. I don't know what's up with the P.O. box, and I don't really care. Have you ever betrayed a friend, and were you able to salvage the relationship? I don't know about betrayed a friend. I've definitely let friends down in my life, and there have been certain relationships that are not salvageable after that. You know, I'm a human being. I don't know if I feel like I've ever, like, truly betrayed a friend. Like, left a knife lodged in their back for my own gratification or whatever. But, yeah, I've definitely fallen down on my duties as a friend. I've definitely been a not that great of a friend. Sometimes overtly, sometimes not so overtly. Sometimes I realize maybe that I'm not being such a great friend, and sometimes I don't. Such as, well, here's an example of where I was kind of a bad friend, and I didn't really realize it was happening. I'm very hard to get a hold of. I don't like cell phones. I don't like text messaging. I don't like DMs. I don't like answering them. I don't like the idea that there's this queue of messages that I need to read waiting for me on seven different platforms. I just have kind of a kind of an aversion to this idea that I'm on call to everybody that knows me, you know. And because of that, it means that I miss calls where people need me sometimes. Like I have a friend who I just like last night was going through my emails and saw an email from him going like, hey man, I really need to talk. Can you call me? And it's from like February. So that's kind of that's not a good friend. And I try not to be that way. I don't do it on purpose. And that's the hardest thing I think for some people to understand. People that you know, like in my family or my close personal friends and stuff. I think a lot of them, when I ghost them or whatever, they think it's them. They think I'm doing it to be mean, or they think I'm doing it to be selfish or whatever, and it's just not the case. It's just not the case. I have so much I can give to people, and that has decreased over time. I used to be a very, very different person, and I think that's why it's so hard for my friends and family to understand how I am now. I used to be the type of person that pick up the phone on the first ring, First person to show up to help, first person you'd call if you needed help, and I gave and I gave and I gave and I gave. First person that you call when you needed oh my God, that's a beautiful bird. He's probably gonna fly away, but I wish I could give you guys a look at him. He's a cardinal. Let me see. Oh man, don't fly. God damn it. He was sitting right on that. Oh, here. Oh, they're a pair. There's like a nest over in that bush. I just saw 2 cardinals fly into it. That sucks. Wanted to show you guys those guys. Cardinals are fucking amazing. I'd never seen one in the wild until here. They're just like beautiful. Yeah, he flew off. He was on his way to his nest, so. Happy birthday, Paul. Get some Taco Bell for the next Highdeology with this. I'll be in the South for the first time ever this May. What should I check out? I'm probably not the best guy to ask that, honestly. I'm new to the South myself. I know that coming here would be a good thing if you like food. So coming to Louisiana if you like food. Those other places, I mean, I couldn't give you the ups and downs of them. I haven't spent a lot of time in any of them. Anyways, back to being hard to get a hold of. Oh, yeah. So anyway, yeah, I think there's this realization, people come to this mistaken realization about me that they think that I'm just selfish or I'm an asshole or I don't like them or I don't want to hear from them or I don't care about them, and that's just not true. Like people that aren't my close personal life, I don't care what they think. Like they can think I hate them all they want. They can think I'm an asshole all they want. But when it comes to like my friends, my family, my mom, my sisters, it's hurtful to me that they think that I don't want to talk to them or that I'm intentionally not talking to them or whatever. But I've had to come to grips with that because it's really the only way that I could start putting back into the coffers that people were taking out of my whole life. You know, that extra time, the time and the care and stuff that you give to people. And I'll be quite frank with you, there was this all kind of changed for me in a big way. I mean, I was already kind of adverse to the phone and stuff before this, so I won't say it totally came from this. But this all kind of changed for me when I got divorced. When I left my wife, you know, you can imagine that's a hard place to be in. And for a guy that had spent so many times, and I'm talking about just exactly the same thing, nursing people through their own divorces, being the ear that people needed when they were going through their own relationship difficulties. I mean, my entire life I've been that for people. And when it happened to me, I had nobody. Nobody. The people that knew me almost entirely turned on me, thought I was in the wrong. And I lost friends, I lost family members. And that really was what kind of pushed me over the edge into this kind of way more selfish person. I've been a people pleaser my whole life. And it bought me almost nothing when I needed it, you know. And that was really the time in my life, I think, more than any other time that I really needed people. I needed those people who I had their backs to have mine, even if it, you know, and I'm not even talking about like turning their back on my ex-wife. I never asked anybody to do that. You know, my ex-wife was part of my family, and I wasn't asking anybody to turn their backs on her, but by the same token, you know, I was hoping that I would have somebody, and I had nobody. So as a consequence of that, and probably just as a consequence of me being an older guy who grew up in a different paradigm, I'm just not easy to get a hold of, man. I don't like answering phone calls. I don't like answering text messages. I don't like answering DMs. I don't like opening up a program and seeing a bunch of crap that I've got to read from people. I just don't. Is there anything that you're not pessimistic about? Sure. I love Ashley. I love Dinor. These are not pessimistic thoughts. I love food. That's not a pessimistic thought. I love hanging out with my friends. I love smoking weed. These are not. These are none of those are pessimistic positions. I've learned to only contact Paul when absolutely necessary. That's probably a good rule of thumb. And even then, you're flipping a coin. Does Ashley ever answer messages for you to save face? Nope. Ashley doesn't have access to my Twitter and my personal accounts. I don't have access to hers. Maybe some of your family watch your videos. Maybe they do. I don't know. I wouldn't know. If they do, they don't talk to me about it. That's for sure. Ever thought about buying a flip phone instead of having a smartphone? There are like none of them are out yet, but I remember looking at some prototypes for some quote unquote dumb phones that as soon as one is available, I will get. Slimline, flat screen phones that do really nothing but text and call. They have no browser, no apps, no bullshit. As soon as one of those is available that's functional and durable enough to survive my kind of ham-fisted way with technology, then I'll get it. Dumb phones, yeah. Would you rather live in a complete anarchist society or a complete dictatorial society? A dictatorial society, because those have existed in the past and people were still able to get food. An anarchist society would be like a death sentence. More and more I find myself realizing that I very rarely am the initiator in conversations, be they phone calls, text messages, face-to-face. Yeah, that's true. That's me too. I mean, not always, but in my personal life, I initiate a lot of conversations. But when it comes to this like distance communication, I just don't do it. I don't call people. I don't text people. I don't be like, hey, how are you doing? Haven't heard from you. That's just not me. You'll never get a text like that from me. Haven't heard from you in a while. What's up? That, I don't think I've ever sent that text message to a person. I just don't do it. I don't do it. Did you ever play any sports when you were really young? Yeah. I was a big, like, I was an athletic kid. That's something that looking at me, you probably wouldn't know, but I was a super athletic kid. I was a runner. So I did track and field. I did soccer. I played 2 positions in soccer. They used to put me in at the beginning of the game as a forward and then pull me about halfway through and put me on goal. And I loved playing both of those positions. I played baseball, although I was really bad at baseball. Baseball and I never really clicked. I was way good at soccer, though. I was actually decent at soccer for an 8-year-old, you know. Did anything besides I got fat happen? Not really. I mean, 6th grade is when I started puberty. In fact, I started the first round of puberty like towards the end of the 5th grade, and then about midway through 6th grade year, puberty just dropped on my head like a ton of fucking bricks. And my mental illnesses started really in earnest around the same time, and I just got fat. I got fat so quick. I went from being an athletic kid who started 6th grade to being a pretty chubby kid at the end of 6th grade, and it just kind of progressed till we're at where we're at now. I've been about this big my whole life since then, since the 6th grade. You know, I've yo-yoed this way and that, but I seem to have a hard upper limit of about 300 pounds, and that's about where I hover. You know, that's my fat homeostasis. Soccer usually isn't fun when you're guarding the goal. I remember getting hit in the face by a soccer ball trying to block it. The other team didn't get a point, at least. I mean, yeah, you'll take a shot. I used to love playing goal, man. It was like I used to actually get excited. Probably not the best sports from a sportsman's perspective, not the best tact to take. But I used to get excited when like somebody would break away on the other team and rush the goal, and I knew I was gonna have to fucking jump for it. I'd be like, all right, let's go. What do you got? Which way you going? Which way you going? I loved playing goal. Americans talking about football, yeah. We don't call it, we have American football, my friend. We call it soccer. I have a template for an old game. I'm going to convert it into a Highdeology game. Ooh. Is it too much to say that Elon Musk is a con man? Sure. I don't know a single con man that says, I've got a rocket that can land itself that produces it. That kind of undermines the whole idea of the con, doesn't it? at least where I'm from. Does vaping ever make you feel sick? Sometimes I get a stomach ache after vaping. How much nicotine do you use? I don't want to talk about vaping, man. Let's just not. Can we not? Can we not discuss vaping? I'd just rather not. I did this to quit smoking. I did this so that I'm not chain smoking cigarettes out here on the porch talking to you guys, okay? That's what I'll tell you about vaping. How's that? That's my input on vaping. Elon dropped a dank meme beat on SoundCloud. NASA had a self-landing rocket decades ago. Then why aren't they using it? Could it be because Elon Musk's rocket is actually testable, reusable, reliable? Could it be that Elon Musk took existing technology and ideas and made them functional? I don't know. There's this, like, there are people out there that seem like Thunderfoot's one of them. They seem to like hate the idea of a visionary anymore. It's like, yes, Elon Musk talks shit about some stuff that's probably never going to happen, but that's part of being a technological visionary, isn't it? Imagining what could be. And, you know, kind of enthusiastically pursuing those goals, whether or not they're actually possible. Trying them, that's a visionary, you know? Like, I genuinely think that dudes like Thunderfoot and some of you in the chat, if you had been around during the times of Thomas Edison and his attempt to invent the light bulb, you would have been right over his shoulder going, this stupid man, trying to trap candlelight in a glass bauble. He's pursuing something that's silly, that's stupid, and that isn't necessary. The candle has provided light since it was invented hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and I see no reason to believe that this huckster, this con man who claims that he's going to capture candlelight in a glass bauble, has anything to say or anything to do. And you'd be right over his shoulder. You know, if he was sharing his failed attempts, you'd be like, see, look at this failed attempt. Here is what Thomas Edison, the great visionary who's going to trap light in a bottle, has done. Look at this sad attempt at a non-working light bulb, as he calls them. It's just like, ugh. Why I stopped watching Thunderfoot. Elon will get more done in a day than he will bitching about his tunnels. I know it's content, but all he does is complain. I know. Like, when it comes to Elon, like, it doesn't make Thunderfoot any less right about things like solar roadways. I just think he got this idea that I am the great debunker. He hit that solar roadways thing out of the park, man. That definitely was a scam from the very start. Didn't make sense from the very start, and Thunderfoot was at the forefront of tearing that down. But it's just like, it's like when he did that, he got these brass balls, you know, and he was like, Elon Musk is next. No matter what the truth is about the guy, no matter what it is he actually produces, I'm gonna find the reason why it sucks. The self-landing rocket. That's right out of the Thunderfoot playbook, that comment that went by a couple of minutes ago. NASA's had a self-landing reusable rocket since the 70s. And it's like, why weren't they using it? Just sucks. It just sucks that there are so many people out there. Like, call out culture has made a group, like a massive amount of humanity utterly closed-minded, utterly unwilling to entertain whimsy. It's like, oof, that sucks. It is a new thing, though. That's the thing. You're saying a lot of people think it's a new thing. It is a new thing. An efficient, reusable rocket that doesn't require a lot of maintenance and has a maximum efficiency and a reliable self-landing pattern is a new thing. The fact that they had a testable rocket that could, under certain circumstances, self-land doesn't mean that Elon Musk's rocket isn't a new thing. It's definitely a new thing. That's what I'm saying. There's these little language games that people have learned to play when it comes to visionaries that undermine without undermining. You know what I mean? Without directly undermining. It's not a new thing. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. He took an existing design that was inefficient, prone to failure, definitely not something that NASA would use, and turned it into the new standard for NASA. That's a new thing. And he makes them way cheaper than NASA. Amen. Same thing happened with the aeroplane. Yes. It's like how Edison didn't invent the first light bulb. He just he built on previous models that couldn't stay lit for more than a minute at a time. Yeah. He didn't make anything new. There were people playing around with the idea of electric light sources way before Edison. It's like, where are those people at? They're not there. Because, you know, Edison actually succeeded. Now everybody's got a light bulb in their house and there's no fucking arguing it. You know, when we look at Elon Musk, I'm not saying he's of the same quality or even of the same personality type as Edison, but when we look at an Elon Musk, we're seeing an Edison before he made the world-changing invention. And we're all like lining up around to poo-poo him. You know what I mean? Not me, not I, McFly. Paul Zigo, deep fat fried. Wow. I don't even get it, dude. Why would you type that? That's my name, and that's the show I'm on. Elon already made other car companies push out electric cars. No, he didn't. Elon Musk is a charlatan, a con man, and a huckster. Fax machine was made very near the use of the Pony Express. It was just expensive. And Edison didn't electrocute an elephant. He just filmed it. Lolling at all the Edison haters in the chat. Yeah. Paul, it makes me sad seeing how culturally homogenized the world is becoming. Why? Makes you sad that the end of political disagreement across national lines is slowly but surely dying and coming to an end. Makes you sad that humanity is slowly but surely letting go of the disparate cultures that put them at each other's throats and embracing a new global paradigm. You think it's sad that humanity is one step closer to coming together and deciding to tackle the giant problems that face us? That doesn't make me sad, man. That sounds lukewarm and boring. Well, I mean, that to me shows a fundamental lack of imagination. If you think having a global world culture makes the world boring, I don't even know what to fucking tell you, dude. I don't even know what to tell you. Paul, what if in the future, 100 years from now, someone finds USB at my house in radioactive ruins with DFF archived videos and watches it? Fun for them. Won't that make novelty a thing of the past? Why would it? Why would it? Do you think people are just going to stop making things, stop creating new things, stop inventing new ways of performing, stop expressing themselves artistically? Why would novelty die just because national borders disappeared? So you're telling me that all of the novel things in the world, all of the fascinating things in the world are because of the silly competition that we monkeys play? This my piece land, that your piece land. That's where all creativity comes from. That's where all novelty comes from. This stupid ass idea that this monkey over here on this plot of land is adverse to us because they were born there. Get that out of the way, and I think you might see novelty actually increase. I think you might be able to wake up in the morning and turn the news on and not immediately be depressed about how everything's falling apart. The compact disc wasn't revolutionary because recorded sound existed before then. No shit. I should build a large radio and beam DFF episodes to Sagittarius A. You do that, buddy. Get right on that. Get right on that. Yeah, give me my space communism, man. Give me my robo-communism now. Give it. Give it to me. I'm tired of this shit. Tired of these opinionated doofuses actively arguing against their best interests and thinking they're doing a good thing because they get props from other doofuses. Sick of it. Give me a dictator. Give me a global fucking language. Give me a global culture. Let's try it. Let's try it and see if it's actually worse than what we're dealing with now. Isn't English the global language? No. I'm talking about having a global common language. And it could be English. We can decide on English. I think English might be a bad choice given its incredible overcomplexity. But I like English. So I'm fine with it being that. But I'm just talking about coming to the realization that we all need to communicate with one another and we all need to be able to understand one another if we're going to have a discourse. And establishing a dual language system where people learn their regional language and a global common language and are fluent in both. This idea is totally attainable. Children are profoundly capable of learning multiple languages. And if we start them young in their education, it will be just easily made a global paradigm that everyone can communicate ideas with one another. There's no barrier to communication, face-to-face or otherwise. One world government would cause more and more worse corruption, though. You can see it in bigger countries. There is more corruption there. Yeah. One world government without any thought towards marginalizing corruption or without a governing AI or without some paradigm that allows the people to have the power once again. You're absolutely right. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. I just don't think that we're any better off having the same paradigm just based around continents or patches of land, because that's exactly what we have now. We live in America where America-centric policy rules the day, where we are beholden to our system of government just like France is beholden to theirs. Could there be non-authoritarian communism? I think there could be something like communism that doesn't come from a comes from a non-authoritarian bent. I think it's possible. Is it probable? I don't think so. Did you ever see the movie Cloud Atlas? That global language was English, but they called it consumer. I haven't seen Cloud Atlas before. I will wait for the one world government until the ideals of the Western world and the Middle East aren't as radically different. Well, that's part of what I'm talking about, though, right? This kind of stratified way of living is an incubator for those types of completely oppositional ideologies to take root and foment war and conflict between these countries. It's kind of the idea, right? So you're going to wait until our balkanization destroys us before you advocate for a one world government? That sounds like a backwards way of fucking doing things, but your position is your position. Yet in this country that I was born in, I'm Salvadorian American and not just American. Yeah. Why? The internet is the universal language. Go to a Japanese website then and read it and laugh at the memes. Read the kanji. Go to a Japanese website and read the kanji and understand the cultural meaning behind what's going on. If that's the truth, if the internet is the universal common language that I'm talking about, go to, something.jp and start reading kanji for me. I'll wait. Go to a German website and start reading German and see if you get the memes. You won't. German culture is the superior culture. Everyone should adopt it or suffer. Shut up, Duke. Fucking idiot. If you're the harbinger of German culture, then German culture is sitting in a depressing bedroom all day, like camping the DFF Discord and drinking a fifth of vodka. Everybody, let's get behind this German culture. Fuck out of here, Duke. I speak English, Dutch, German, French, and Latin. If I've learned one thing, none of the languages around now would work for a future one world government. Okay. I don't see how you being multilingual naturally leads to that conclusion, but fair enough. Good for you. German memes are mostly copying the American memes. Is that true? Is that true? Hard disagree. Uh-oh. Not just a disagree, but a hard disagree. What am I going to do with that? I'm awfully salty this afternoon. Are you reading this chat, bro? I feel like I'm pretty fucking calm. I feel like this chat is having a fucking refest, though. Spanish could be an alternative. I'd be down with Spanish. Spanish is a beautiful language. Just went to see Us. Horrible movie. Nothing about it made a lick of sense. Underground people, just because, I guess. Yeah, I haven't even yelled, dude. I haven't yelled. I haven't done anything salty, man. The salt call-outs are starting to get lame. You guys are starting to call out salt where there is none. That's pretty stupid. Guys ever heard that fable, The Boy Who Cried Wolf? Think about it. Think about the boy who cried wolf. Next time you type salty in the chat. The chat who cried salt. Yeah. Are you fond of the Sodom and Gomorrah story? Am I fond of it? Not really. Can't you ban certain words from the chat? I can. Yeah, dude. When the real salt arrives, no one's going to believe that it's happening. Personally, I think you're not salty enough. There you go. That's my kind of thinker. Do you think if Americans experience more foreign art and film, etc., would be more open to a world government? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe. I don't really see much of an avenue to openness in America for the idea of a one world government. Not right now. Personally, I think the rationale of having one world state is the same Marx used when thinking his ideal socialist state would just shed a way to form his communist paradise. Sure, there's certainly a lot of wishful thinking, a lot of hard optimism in my idea that there is a path for humanity to come together under one paradigm. I admit that. I freely admit that. I also freely admit that that as I conceive of it, will probably never come to pass. It doesn't mean that I don't think it's the best way. It doesn't mean that I should stop advocating for it, at least in my mind. But But do you think that money is a driving force in our lives? What do you think? Do you think that you'd be into Vulcan girls if they were real? Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I want to see what one of these like logical girls does when you get them in bed, you know what I mean? That's the thing about the Vulcans that people just don't get. It's like they're all reserved and logical in life, but they gotta fuck. And when they do, what's it like? What's it like getting with a Vulcan girl? Or a hot Vulcan twink, you know what I mean? Logically, they wouldn't mate with you. Oh, damn. That's harsh. What if they have cloaca? Cloaca? I'd still try it. I'd still dip my wick. What's up, pimp monk? What you up to, buddy? What you up to, buddy? You would be seen as a daddy bear in the gay community. Cool. I'm a daddy bear. How do you think we all work AI into government? I don't know about you, but I have trouble seeing Surgeon General Watson anytime soon. Yeah, me too. The things I talk about and advocate for here, even if they did happen, they're going to happen on an extreme time scale. You and I and everybody in this chat will probably be dead before anything even remotely close to what I talk about is even considered, much less enacted. So, you know, a lot of people find that frustrating, that I'm more interested in talking about far-flung future possibilities than I am miring myself in the soap opera that is current politics. But sorry, that's my choice. Would you like to get yourself a sexy Kardashian Bajoran half-breed? Sure. I'd do them all. All of these alien races, man. I'd be like Captain Kirk. I'd be out there dipping my wick constantly. Constantly. Wesley's the hottest one in Star Trek. Damn. Got a Wesley fan up in here, huh? Got a Wesley fan. What kind of animal would you like to be able to transform into? I'd want to be like an aquatic animal or something, like a dolphin or a whale would be cool. Like, I want to be able to go like deep under the water and shit. I want to be able to explore the sea, man. Nah, gorilla, that's just self-aggrandizement, wishing to be gorilla. Nothing can be gorilla. A muskrat. That might be fun. I think being able to transform yourself into any animal for a little bit of time would be totally fun. No matter what animal. Well, maybe not no matter what animal. Like a sea cucumber just laying in a tide pool somewhere. That might get old pretty quick. But I'm talking about, you know, an animal that's a little closer to us in the genetic ladder. It's got some eyes, it's got some ears. Being a wolf, being a bird would be cool, wouldn't it? Being able to just transform into a hawk and just fly up wherever you want, get a bird's eye view of everything, literally. Hell yeah. Or a dolphin, or whale. You know, just being able to just have the ocean. You'd want to be a pigeon. It'd be cool to be a pigeon. It'd be cool to be any bird. You had to get from A to B while the government was chasing you. Which animal would you transform into? Probably a bird. I mean, nothing gets from A to B faster than a bird, right? At least in the animal kingdom. You could eat free fries at McDonald's without judgment. Yeah, you could do a lot of things as a bird. Nobody judges a bird. I could just shit wherever I wanted. I could be as loud as I wanted. Nobody's gonna do anything. Nobody could do anything. I mean, I guess they could shoot at me. But I wouldn't be stupid enough to be in a perch where somebody could shoot at me. A bird is the fastest animal. There you go. Be a peregrine falcon or something like that. What's your take on cybernetics and bionics? I'm all for transhumanism and shedding. Oh, yeah. We talked about transhumanism on the last show. I've been a transhumanist for a very long time. I'm an unapologetic transhumanist. And I don't have a problem admitting, too, that my personal experience has tainted my position on that. I'm the owner of a body that has fought me every fucking step of my life. I got problems on problems, and I'm ready to, like, if somebody came to me right now and were like, Paul Zigo, we just made a bionic spine, and we want you to be the first one to get one, I'd be like, where do I fucking sign the release? Paul Zigo, we've developed a new hearing aid that's, you know, it's not even a cochlear implant. It's a direct implant into your brain that makes your hearing better. That's another thing that's fast becoming a problem for me that I'm going to have to find a solution to. Is my hearing is dismal. The other day, I was standing in the kitchen doing some dishes, and Ashley was in the bedroom, which is not that far from the kitchen, and she yelled something to me, and all I heard was, and I said, what? I can't hear you. And she said again, I was like, I'm sorry, I can't make out a word you're saying. And she's like, you are so deaf. She's like, I could hear every syllable of every word that you were saying. Like, I heard you loud and clear. I can't hear you. And it's just like, yeah. You get ringing in the ears. I do sometimes. I don't have it real bad, but I have a little bit of tinnitus. It's mostly just hearing damage from abusing my hearing for most of my teen years and 20s. Do you have trouble hearing yourself speaking? On one side, I do. A little. I can tell that my right ear is not hearing my voice at the same fidelity that my left ear is. Do you shoot guns without hearing protection? No, I just used headphones. My parents had an old hi-fi radio system, and that became mine when they got an updated, you know, newer with CD players and all this shit. I got this old 8-track hi-fi system, but I used to just I hooked up a little personal CD player via an aux cable and whatever I had to do to get it to work. And I would just put headphones on and crank it as loud as I could possibly stand and just, and I'm telling you, man, like old late 60s, early 70s, yeah, like Asbestos Fingers is saying, that shit was, I mean, it drove a lot of sound. You could listen to your music super loud without any loss of fidelity to it. And that's what I did. So I did that in my teens, and then in my 20s, I used to travel a lot and roadie for a band every once in a while and go to a lot of local shows and stand right by speaker stacks that were cranked all the way to 11. You know what I mean? I just abused my hearing in a bad way. Paul, you're just getting old. I know, Naughty Priest, I know. I'm aware. I'll be 39 tomorrow, so there's really no denying it now. You know, when you're less than 1 year from 40, you can't credibly say I'm not old anymore. You know, you're getting old. You're getting up there. You're the same age as my mom. Damn. Is your mom hot? Can I get them digits? 40 isn't really old anymore. I always hear that. When I turned 30, people were telling me that. They were like, oh yeah, man, it used to be like a big deal turning 30, but these days, 30's like 20. Every time I reach another decade, there's a few people out there going like, you ain't old. Am I going to be like 80 and be like, 80? You ain't old, Paul Zigo. You ain't old, man. Is it true most of the speakers at concerts were just for show? Not at the concerts I went to, but I wasn't going to arenas and shit. You know, we were playing at bars. I know that the speakers were real at the bars because at a lot of them we had to pack our own PAs and shit. So, yeah, those were real speakers. Don't worry, you won't make it to 80. Thanks, bro. Man, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Old, in my opinion, is 60. Okay, well, I'm closer to that now, too, then. Modern stereo systems are shit. They sound like crap and aren't loud at all. I'm telling you, man, there just was a fundamental difference in the quality of music on those old analog 70s hi-fi stereos. Paul, come on, you got at least 20 years left. You're not old. There'll be cool medical shit when our generation gets older. Yeah, that's true. Some of you guys might be saved by it. I don't think anything like life-changing is going to come along before I kick the bucket. I'm probably just going to have to live like the old humans lived, you know? Dying of cancer or heart disease. You guys will be able to completely circumvent that shit, I'm sure. Stereo systems are better today than ever, but people don't want to spend the money because of earbuds and Bluetooth speakers. I mean, that might be true. I haven't listened to a modern like standalone stereo system, so I just remember the ones back in the day being loud and crisp and eardrum destroying. What if you're in a retirement home right now? Yeah, people have brought that up to me before, like, been like, Paul, what if you're just a crazy person sitting in a dilapidated old room with like a broken, dead cell phone sitting in front of you, and you're just talking to nobody? If that's the case, I'm happy doing it, I guess. So what does it matter? Like, if my reality is sitting here and talking to you guys and most of the time having fun doing it, then what does it matter if my actual reality is me sitting in a fucking padded cell somewhere believing I'm doing all this shit? There really is no difference, right? Shakira. It's time to take the medicine. Medication time, gentlemen. Medication time. How can you prove this is not a dream? I can't. Some response works for people who question if our reality is virtual or not. Yeah. I mean, that really is one of the, I mean, I don't want to get into the whole simulation theory shit again, because we've talked your ear off about that over the last few episodes of this, but I mean, that really is one of the things that makes it more palatable as a position to me, is that it really is unfalsifiable. Like, there's no way that if it is indeed true that we're just in a vastly complex simulation, there's no way for us to fucking know one way or the other. Any more than, you know, Mario's sprite can know he's in a digital mock-up of the fucking Mushroom Kingdom. We're just NPCs if that's the case. Are you a hedonist? I don't know that I could credibly call myself a true hedonist. I do enjoy life's hedonistic pleasures from time to time, but I don't think I really have the. I would say TJ's closer to a true hedonist, but even he has to practice kind of a calculated, modern, moderate hedonism, you know. If I'm staring into a broken screen in an institution thing and I'm listening to a weird neckbeard talking, that'd be worse. Why would that be worse, though? Either way, you don't know the difference, right? So you chose to do something and you're doing it. Whether or not you're imagining it or it's all simulated doesn't matter, right? You're still doing it. Are you a masochist? No. I mean, I have a little bit of a sadist, masochistic streak, I guess, but it's very tame. It's not, you know, there's a little bit of me that likes throwing down a spanking. or having a knife held to my throat. Are you a pessimist? Yeah. Clearly you want to be a sadist. I don't know how that's clear, but okay. Every Catholic boy likes a spanking. Indeed. Indeed. When did neck, are you thinking neck beard replace stoner? Feels weird, man. I don't know. I don't think it did. I think they're like, sometimes I hear both. Stoner neck beard. That's what I get that a lot, so pretty sure. Would civilizations fall into chaos if we somehow found out we were in a simulation? Probably. I mean, that would require you not only communicating that idea and providing proof that it was true, but being able to communicate that idea to the layman in such a way that they believed that it was their new realistic paradigm. There would be certainly groups of people that would have a new consequence-free way of living, and that would probably lead to crime and horrible things. I've never heard the term neckbeard anywhere but here. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I hear it all over the place on the internet. Where did the word stoner come from? I don't know, man. I don't know what the etymology of stoner from. I assume it's getting stoned. But I don't know why we started calling getting high getting stoned. That's a question I can't answer. Would you come to Brazil? Hell yes, I'd come to Brazil. Even though Asbestos Fingers banned you for that for some reason. I would go to Brazil, yes. You know, on a less serious note, when it comes to the future, I'm most excited for AI-generated customized media. Well, maybe, cool. You might die from the Belly Buster burger at the Big Chief. Nah, man, nah. That ain't gonna be the burger that kills me. You know how many burgers I've eaten in my life? Just gonna be another one on the pile, man. The universe works differently, observed and unobserved. An assumption is that it does so to save bandwidth in the computational system. So what you're talking about is like, I don't fully understand the experiment, but I'll try and approximate it, right? So there was this experiment done where there was a black box made, and a flashlight or some source of light was shown through a hole in the box. And they studied where the photons from the light landed and all of that when they were observing it. And then they closed off the box and allowed one photon at a time into the room. One photon at a time. And it made the same pattern on the wall, even though I can't even remember. It's such a fucked up experiment that trying to explain it, while I don't fully understand it myself. But yeah, there's this thing about observation in quantum physics, where a particle will act a certain way if it's being observed and act a different way if it isn't being observed. That's the best way I can put it. What is your favorite liquor? Got a favorite brand? I don't really have a favorite brand, but if I'm going to be drinking liquor, I prefer tequila over all other liquors. What's your favorite rapper nowadays? Like currently, who's my favorite rapper right now? I don't know that I have one, honestly. Probably Post Malone if I had to. If you put a gun to my head and made me choose one, Post Malone maybe. I really enjoy some Posty. It's the detection method. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the guy. I don't have the understanding of the experiment that you would need. Observation just means measurement in quantum mechanics. Okay. I just started listening to Mac Miller. I regretted thinking he was overrated before his death. Have you ever listened to artist music after their death and regretted not listening to it before? Trying to think if I've ever felt a sense of genuine regret for not getting into a musician. I don't really think I have, honestly. I mean, there have been musicians and genres of music that I've discounted and then later come to appreciate, but I don't think that's the same thing. Ski Mask, the song. I like Ski Mask, yeah. He's very different in the way that he presents himself from other rappers. You know, other rappers are all going for this very clean, jewelry bedecked, you know, everything's super expensive, and Ski Mask is more like kind of marching to the beat of his own drummer. I really like him. His beats are just gnarly and like dirty sounding and dystopian, and I don't know, I like his flow. I like him a lot. I've been listening to a lot of Ski Mask lately. His wordplay is complex and fun. Yes, it is. What do you think about the blending of metal culture with rap and modern rap? I think it's a natural extension of, you know, the drift of musical taste. I mean, metal and rap started really truly being combined in the 80s, right? When rock and rap kind of had this crazy little duet with Aerosmith and Run DMC. So this idea of taking genres of music and blending them together is nothing new. I mean, there's a whole, I used to listen to a lot of Baroque pop, which was known for taking classical music and, you know, layering these heavy strings and horns over traditional indie soft rock or pop. You know, these types of things are happening all the time. Rage, yeah, Rage is a great example of that blending of metal and rap. What do you think makes a beat sound dystopian? Can that element be measured? I think I use it when I say like a beat has a dystopian feel to it. When I say that, what I mean is that listening to the beat evokes visions in me, and maybe not in you, but in me, of a stark, gritty, lonely, spacious future. Kind of an underground sound that is made to not only reflect the far-flung future culture that I'm talking about, but to fight it a little bit. It just gives me that feeling. And if you want to hear a few rap songs that have a beat, whether you like the raps or not, that have a beat that I consider to be kind of dystopian, listen to some Comethazine. He's a kind of a SoundCloud rapper guy that I'm into. He's got a song called Walk that I think has that. There's a sparseness to that dystopian feel when I'm saying it. Maybe sparse would be a better way of putting it, but it doesn't have the same flavor as a description in my mind, at least, as dystopian does. But there's a sparseness to it. There's, you know, a need to allow the spaces in the beat to breathe rather than to fill them constantly with syncopated synths. And, you know, there was for a very long time, rap beats were complex, and every once in a while would let you hang with nothing. You know what I mean? And the newer style of rap seems more intent on bringing that spaciousness where the beat would cut out in old songs and the rapper would spit a bar behind nothing and then cut back in. It seems to me like the newer style of rap wants to do that without that hard pause. And so they're making these very spacious, empty, wide open beats. Why does Drake suck so much? I don't think Drake sucks. At least not totally. I'm not a huge Drake fan or whatever, but once again, some of the beats in his songs, absolutely fucking amazing. And a good example of one of those beats that I would say has a sparse and dystopian feel to it would be that, oh fuck, what's that song called? Drake did a duet with Jay-Z on it. Cash moves everything around me. Pound Cake. Pound Cake. Yeah. Listen to that beat. You know, you can just go search for Pound Cake instrumental if you don't want to deal with Drake, and just take a look at what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that kind of lower key production and the kind of echoey nature of it that makes it feel big and spacious. A lot of new rap sounds kind of dark to me. That's what that was my inroad with it. That was what got me into the more modern SoundCloud little rappers and shit, right? I started listening to this music and I'm like, man, this is dark. There's just a dismal self-worship about this, a dismal worship of money, a dismal worship of social status, and I love it. There's something about it, man, that speaks so loudly about how I picture younger people. And you know, it was a big moment for me to listen to that music and make that connection. Just listen to Walk, cool song, can see what you were saying. Yeah. I think rappers like Tupac who spoke out on social issues would be considered whiny SJWs by today's standards. No. I don't think necessarily they would come out doing that because there are still socially conscious rappers out there. Somebody mentioned Mac Miller earlier, and I don't think anybody considered Mac Miller to be an SJW. And if they did, I haven't heard that take. But he was a guy that talked a lot about mental illness and power dynamics and stuff. Conscious rap is whack. See, I disagree, man. But I come from a time where conscious rap was kind of embraced. There was there wasn't this filter that everybody seems to have installed in them and in their brains now that immediately recoils in horror at the idea of music being political. There were a lot of socially conscious rappers back in the day that fucking killed it, man. A Tribe Called Quest is the first one that jumps into my fucking mind, and really the only example that I need to give. A Tribe Called Quest was just amazing, and of course they were using their platform to speak about issues of race and issues of gender and all of those things. But back in the day, nobody listened to them and were like, ugh, fuck this. That just wasn't, that mindset hadn't taken root yet. And a lot of you have never existed outside of that mindset, which is what I think creates a lot of the conflict that I have with some of the younger people that watch me. There's a different way of thinking about things that I was raised under, a different paradigm. And you can call it old and outmoded. It is. I'll admit that. But I can't think a different way. I can't really attack issues a different way. And, so this new, for example, this new labeling and categorization thing, if you like conscious rap, Kendrick does that. I'm not a huge Kendrick fan, but I don't want to undercut him because he's decent. And now I've stopped and read that, and I can't remember what I was talking about. That's one of the downsides to fucking super chats and shit. Popos. Yeah, I can't even remember where I was going because I stopped to read a super chat. Oh, yeah, the categorization of things. It seems to me, from my perspective, that there's a real drive nowadays to categorize everybody. Somebody has a take on something and they are this. Music sounds a certain way and it is this. An artist chooses to get political and that makes them this. That doesn't exist in my head. I take statements at face value, and I take art for what it is, and I try and appreciate it for what it is. You know, that's kind of the way I attack it. I'm not looking for ways to delegitimize art immediately as soon as I see it. If I see or hear something that resonates me, even if the content of it is something that I wouldn't necessarily get behind myself, I don't immediately throw it in the trash bin and light it on fire and call it an SJW song or whatever. That just isn't me. I'm not built that way, but a lot of society is built that way now. A lot of society, you're almost incentivized to have an immediate take on a piece of art or an opinion that includes a value judgment on the whole of the person who created or originated the thought. Right now, there's a lot of argument going on about the Dusty thing. I went over to the Facebook fan group for DFF, which I don't do Facebook hardly at all, but I was over there last night and I found a thread and I responded to a few people about it. There was a long thread about people that are like, Paul is just so stupid. Why can't he see that people like Paul Joseph Watson need to be shunned and you're signal boosting and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, man, we can sit and have a conversation about this, but I don't think we're going to reach anything like an agreement. I'm just not wired that way, man. I said something on the show here the other day that a lot of people in the chat were like, whoa. I said, if Adolf Hitler came back and said something that I agreed with, I'd have no problem agreeing with him on that one point and disagreeing with him on the rest of his points. Whoa. If it's off topic, I'm not going to read it. Do you think being a sellout actual meant something so the term sellout, did it actually mean something in the 90s? No, not really. I mean, it's always been a way to marginalize an artist. Oh, they compromised their art to make this, or they signed a deal. It's always been a way to try and marginalize art before you even heard it. So no, I don't think it had any more merit back then than it does now. It's just another one of these category words, I don't like this because of something this person said 10 years ago. I'm not wired that way. I'm not wired that way. New term for sellout is industry plant. Well, you hear that a lot. Not only does Rammstein have a new track out, that new video is fucking crazy. I can't tell you how much I love it. It's called Deutschland. You should go watch it right now. Watch the video. Even if you're not a Rammstein fan, go watch that video, dude. It is just laden with cultural references about Germany and its past, most of which I didn't even get. But it's like a feast for the eyes, man. Hated it. Wow. All right. Boring motherfucker. Get out of here. What do you think of Migos? I don't really. I've listened to some Migos songs. I'm not a huge fan. That's not how Rammstein is pronounced, Lamau. We're all living in America. Coca-Cola, wunderbar. Migos, what the fuck? Didn't Stevie write that song, Mein Teil? Das ist mein Teil. Do you like deep growly metal? Grover metal? Not really. I like some of it. I can get with some of it, but if you're gonna recommend a band to me and the lead vocal sounds like it's gonna be a hard hill for you to climb getting me into that band. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I like lyrics. I like being able to understand what's being said in songs. The production in Walk is really haunted sounding. Yeah. Kind of back. It almost sounds like they took a string like that whiny. It almost sounds like they took like a string instrument and reversed it. That statement just made Coolman cry. Yeah, probably. I mean, I got no problem with you listening to it, but it just ain't my cup of tea. Do you like down-tempo ambient instrumentals at all? I do. Yeah, I really like EDM or whatever, and the different genres that make it up. And I tend to really like ambient, like space ambient stuff. Stuff without a hard beat. It's just kind of tinkling synths and big brazen brass sounds. I like that type of shit. That's chill music to me. This year's looking to be pretty awesome with metal. Amon Amarth is a new track. Cool. I don't really like Amon Amarth, but that's fine. Who's the most obscure artist that you love? Probably Daniel Johnston. Daniel Johnston was basically a paranoid schizophrenic guy who makes amazing music, who was kind of a cult figure in Austin for a while back in the 80s, and still makes music. Not a lot of people have heard of him, and even fewer people that have heard him will listen to him again. But I love me some Daniel Johnston. Do you like psychedelic rock? Yes. Do you like Little Peep? No. Got 3 minutes into that Deutschland video. What the fuck? I know, right? Is there any pop you like? Sure. Sure, I love pop. I'm a fan of Michael Jackson's music and always will be. He was the king. More modern pop that I like. I mean, I don't like it all, but there are some that I like. Like Lily Allen is a pop artist from Great Britain that I really like. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other pop acts right now that I'm into. I'm not a real consumer of pop music, but when some comes along that I enjoy, I'll listen to it. Lily Allen, yeah. I don't think there's 2 L's though. I think it's Lily Allen. She hasn't made a song for years. Oh. Whoops. If you like psychedelic rock, listen to the album Lonerism by Tame Impala. Okay. I have seen The Devil and Daniel Johnston, yes. Do you like Justin Timberlake? Yeah, I actually did like some of his like sexy back era music. How about 80s pop? Of course. I grew up listening to that shit. My parents were very eclectic when it came to music, so I grew up listening to a lot of 60s protest rock, disco, 80s pop, classical, jazz. My parents played it all, and I was very lucky for that. I think it has led directly to my eclectic taste in music now. I'll listen to anything. I like listening to corridos. I'll listen to anything if it tickles my ear, you know. But yeah, 80s pop, I love that synth pop shit from the 80s. TJ can't stand it, man. There'll be some times where like we're all chilling in a room somewhere and I've got control of the TV and I'm playing some music or something and I'll put on some Mr. or something and he's just like, ugh, this sucks. It's like, sorry. Any genres you absolutely hate? Modern country music, I would say I pretty much discard that over my shoulder. Outside of that, not really. I think modern country music is the best example of a genre that's lost its soul. What happened to outlaws in country, man? What happened to guys like Hank? What happened to those dudes? Writing music about getting drunk and having bar fights and having sex with women and pulling guns on people and shit. It all got replaced with this, I love me some Jesus, and I love my wife. I love my little farm, my truck, my dog, and my silly life. You know, it's just like, ugh. And they're all the same. I went out last night and I was thinking of you, wearing my old blue suede shoe. It's just like, ugh. It's all just like Christian sentimental music now. It's terrible. Soulless, heartless, ballless music that used to be like any good country music. I want to start listening. Yeah, man. Go listen to Rope in the Wind by Garth Brooks, which might, for a lot of you, fit the template. But if you want to hear like modern country music that's good, that's the last time I think that modern sounding sentimental country rock was good. But if you want to go back farther, I mean, Hank, listen to all the Hanks. Listen to Hank Williams, listen to Hank Williams Jr., listen to Hank the Third, listen to some outlaw country. Hick hop, yeah. Garth Brooks is a weird motherfucker. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Listen through music has the right to Children by Boards of Canada. Give it a listen if you haven't heard them much. They're down tempo with psych elements. Okay, I'll check it out. I mean, there's a lot of dudes. I have trouble with their names because it's been a long time since I listened to them a lot. But there are a lot of old outlaw country guys, Waylon Jennings and Willie and fucking Johnny Cash. I mean, country music used to be like hip hop for white people. Let me qualify that. Country music used to be the Caucasian outlaws' outlet. It was a music that was popular because the people making it were singing about living outside of the paradigm. They were singing about living outside of society, not living by the rules. They were shit kickers. They were drinkers. They were womanizers. You know what I mean? And that all went away. And now they're all clean-cut looking, 30-something dudes that sing about their trucks. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers, yeah. What's your biggest guilty pleasure song? Probably like that song Girl by Davy Jones. Girl, look what you've done to me. Me and my whole world. I love that song. It's a silly little song that was obviously made for teenage girls or whatever, but I like that song. Girl, you brought the sun to me. Why would I want to hear someone sing about their truck? I don't know, but people want to apparently. I got a big chrome hitch on my big white truck. Who cares? Have you seen Dragged Across Concrete? No. You listen to Weird Al? Not like recreationally. I'm not going to be like, man, I just want to chill. Let me pop on some Weird Al, but I'll listen to Weird Al. I like him. Boys around here drinking ice cold beer, wearing boots, cowboy hats. Good old Weird Al. Good old Weird Al. One time Waylon Jennings blew up the building he played out with dynamite because they didn't pay him. Cool. Now that's a man. Ghost is one of the few modern rock bands worth following. I don't think that's true at all, but if you want to be one of these dudes that's like, there's only one band that's making anything worth listening to, and it's X, then go right ahead. I would recommend that if you like a genre of music, go out and listen to some of the modern stuff being made and decide for yourself whether or not Ghost is the only modern rock band worth listening to. I think that's bullshit. Country music used to be very poetic. I can't listen to shit nowadays. Ghost only sucks because of the vocalist? I don't think Ghost sucks at all. I think the vocals are what make Ghost sound so different. You've got this very melodic, soft, almost whiny voice over this very, very hard, edgy, goth-tinged rock with an industrial edge to it. Yes, please. Yes, please. I'll take some more of that, please. What do you want? What do you want, you fluffy little buddy? My fluffy little friend. What can I do for you today? Want to give a kiss? Anybody ever heard of a band called Nirvana? Anybody heard Nirvana? King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard released 13 albums in 7 years. Damn, son. That's a lot. Well, one of the sad things about talking about music in general is that it always descends to where it's at right now. Look at the chat right now. I'm not even looking at it, and I know what it is. It's filled with people going, have you listened to this? What do you think of this? Everybody's got their one little autistic band that they're obsessed with. They just desperately want everybody else to listen to. And it stifles actually talking about music in a general term, which is what we were doing. I mean, we're using examples as they come up, but people are just now, like, they're listing off whatever their little spurgy favorite band is. And that to me is the sad thing about trying to discuss broad topics, especially broad artistic topics now. If you're gonna talk about art, rather than talking about the general concepts behind art and using little examples along the way, what you're gonna get is a barrage of people that are like, have you ever watched this? Ever seen this? Ever listened to this? What about this artist? What about this artist? My favorite artist is this. My favorite artist is... And it's all for that positive feedback too. It's all because they want me to go, what do you think of this artist? And I go, oh, I love that artist. They get that like, oh, Paul likes something I like. But it's worthless to conversation. The fact that you and I are both into, the same artist means nothing. What's meaningful is discussing the meaning of the general principles behind that art, what it radiates in terms of its subtext, what it means in the context of art that came before it, and speculating about the art that'll come after it. That's an important conversation. What do you think of Amon Amarth is stupid? That's a stupid conversation. Buzzkill Paul on the scene. Sorry, man. I just hate it. I hate this. I hate the weird positive feedback loops that fuck up my shows. It really bothers me. You guys hear me talk about it here a lot. I can't bring up a TV show without my chat, which I'm dependent on for this show, engaging me in actual conversation, going down the path that I started going down because they took it there. And then once it gets there, it just becomes a litany of, you should watch this. What do you think of this? Ever seen this? I like this. What do you think of this, Paul? What are your thoughts on this? What do you thought? And it's just bands, movies, music, any video games, any topic that centers around the creation of art or entertainment that I bring up instantly becomes a litany of people trying to get me to give them that little light feeling of positive feedback in their chests when somebody that you, I don't know, admire or watches the same thing as you. It's silly, man. The fact that you and I both listen to Death Clock or whatever is not interesting for 99.999% of the people that watch this, either live or come back and watch the replay. Nobody wants to hear me sit here all day and go, what do you think of Amon Amarth, Paul? I like him. What do you think of this? I like him. What about this band? I like him. What about this artist? I don't like him. What about this artist? I like him. What about this artist? I like him. What about this band? I like him. What about this video game? I like him. It's what it comes down to sometimes, man. It's a shame. Very boring. Boring for me, too. Just letting you know. What can you do to stifle such conversation? I mean, I'm hoping that by bringing it up enough that people will just kind of stop doing it because they enjoy the show being dynamic and interesting and they enjoy the topics being discussed at length and not just me going, yeah, no, yeah. I would hope that eventually people fucking get over it, but here we go. Let's just go dunk this idiot. A dude literally just saying poop over and over again, man. I don't think I've had one thing happen to me that was a better representation of the internet than that. One dude just saying poop over and over and over again. I've caught myself asking some of those questions a couple of times, but I hit the backspace key and forget about it. I mean, sometimes, like, I'm not trying to be a total dick about it. It's just frustrating to me because I feel like, when the chat is engaging me or even battling me on something, that you guys get an interesting show. And when the chat is just like trying to get that, I want to Paul watch this, I want to Paul do this, then you guys don't get an interesting show. You get a boring show. And, they can't all be fucking home runs, but said I'm older and I'm sober, like the middle of October. Okay, song lyrics. I think I'm gonna start a new pair. I'll talk to the Spectres about it. I think anybody that just posts song lyrics apropos of nothing, I think they're gonna go to the dark place now too. Your rants are more entertaining than anything. That's what I love about you. Well, yeah, but I can't really rant by going yes, no. Have you seen? Have you watched? Have you looked at questions? That's not really rant conducive. I guess it is because it sent me off on a rant about how bored I am with those types of questions. So I guess it works for that, but I think you're frustrated because you've reached the apex of what a good conversation is. I don't think so. That's the thing about conversation is it's only as good as the participants, and there really is no such thing as too much of it. As long as the two people or the multiple people involved in the conversation are engaged by it, they are doing one of the most fundamentally important things a human being can do. Sharing ideas, communicating with other human beings. That's one of the most fundamentally sacred things that a human does. I mean, it's kind of a rant, but it's not a true salty Paul rant. Yeah, I'm not real salty. I'm just kind of bored with it. I'm frustrated, I guess. Maybe you can go into a music you like, then come back at us why such music resonates. Berating us just helps to deflate the chat. I'm actually trying to deflate the chat a little bit, though. Yeah, maybe if you run a stream, you can do it like that. When I run the stream, if chat's being stupid, I just tell them they're being fucking retarded. That's always how it's been around here, bro. If only I had a friend to converse with. Well, you're not going to get any friends sitting alone in your room watching me, If you truly want some friends, you need to go get a hobby or a jobby. Both of those two things, dude. The answer to, man, I'm lonely and I got nobody to talk to, hobby or jobby. That's what you need. That's the answer. I know it seems oversimple, but it really isn't for most people. For most people, if they're sad and they're lonely and they feel like they got nobody to talk to, it's a hobby or a jobby that they need. I recently rewatched the Derek Jensen discussion you did. Would you be open to discussing philosophy again sometimes? I mean, I think we do that a lot here, but when it comes, would I be open to the idea of discussing the thoughts of a particular philosopher again sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel like we spend a lot of time philosophizing here. What's better, though? Realizing some guy sitting in front of a camera saying one or two words is boring, or being told that you're just getting into a feedback loop? I don't know. You'll have to answer me that question. I'm not on the other end of that ever. You've always done best just ranting and voicing streams of consciousness rather than finding out what the chat thinks. The odd gem is there, but most of the chat is shit. I mean, I appreciate the kind of the compliment and stuff, but that's just not true. Not when it comes to this show. This show has always been chat driven. Very rarely will I come to one of these shows with an idea what I want to talk about, with an agenda. Usually what I do is turn it on and see what you guys are up to. And that's one of my favorite things about it, and one of my least favorite things about it is that sometimes chat kind of participates with me and leading to a really interesting discussion, or a discussion where I get to make a point that I've wanted to make but didn't have the context to make it. And sometimes it ends up like it was today, where it's just like, it's almost like they're fighting against interesting content with me, you know, by not engaging any of the ideas I'm talking about, but just listing off band names or types of food or places that they've been that they wonder if I've been to. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I mean, it's not just music and movies. It's like people want to know if I use the same toilet paper as them. I get asked probably 3 or 4 times every time I do one of these what kind of vape juice I use. You know? How can we create one world government without bureaucracy becoming untenable, complicated for the individual? And AI. We talk about that a lot here. See, I don't think a human bureaucracy can fight the forces of natural corruption and malfeasance and just straight out incompetence that comes from a lot of large bureaucracies. But an AI could, right? Do you feel weird being a leader in a parasocial relationship? Can you explain to me, Daniel, what exactly that means? I'm going to be honest with you. When you say the term parasocial, I don't even really understand what that is. It's an interesting question. I want to answer you, but I don't really know what you're... Maybe somebody could give me a quick... You know, if I was sitting at my computer right now, I'd just look it up. I've heard it before, but I've never used it and I've never engaged with it because I just don't even really understand the concept. A one-way relationship. Okay. I don't really feel like this constitutes a parasocial relationship then. I really don't think so. I really don't think this is a one-sided... In fact, the talk that I just gave to you guys about how dependent I am on your input to make this show good, I don't think this constitutes a parasocial relationship. It may not be fully two-way in the terms that you guys can't speak your... You know, you can't speak your contemporary thoughts. You have to type them out, and a lot of them don't get read. But I don't think it's a full... I don't think I would describe it as a fully parasocial relationship, if that is indeed the best definition for that term. We're kind of nebulous as a chat and not a one-on-one people, you know. Well, yeah. That's why I said I can see maybe the roots in thinking of this as like that, but I really don't see it that way. And maybe it is. Maybe it is despite my perception of it. Parasocial Relationships is an online dating site for handicapped people. Oh. Oh. Do you think we could make rant videos now, as you're so used to riffing off of other people? What? You talking about... I've made rant videos before. That was what my channel was for the longest time. From about 2006 to 2015, that's what the Paul's Ego channel was a sparsely updated rant channel. I got tired of doing it. I like doing this because it doesn't require me to come up with what I think is the important rant. It allows me to field what other people think are important, and in this case, the people that watch me, which makes it all that much more important to me to know. This is what I like to do. Parasocial interaction is an illusionary experience such that media audience interact with personas as if they are engaged in a reciprocal relationship with them. Aren't you guys, though? And maybe in a minor way. Obviously, we're not in some kind of normal adult reciprocal relationship here, but aren't those of you that come here often and participate in the chat and field things for me to talk about, aren't you engaging? Doesn't that make it somewhat of a two-way street here? I don't know. It's an interesting topic for sure. I mean, you're right, though. You guys know a whole lot more about me personally than I know about you. So it's definitely not a balanced relationship in that way. I don't see it as fully parasocial. I'm gonna go take a peek. What do you think about that, Eleanor? Do you like it? Do you like when I peek? Taking its wear. Your hair is everywhere. Kicking and screaming. Do you wanna take my picture? 'Cause I won't remember. Why are your streams so much better than TJ's? It's TJ's garbage, that's why. Realize that Paul doesn't need kids because each and every one of us is like his adopted children. Oh man, don't put yourself in that position. Don't put yourself in that position. If you were my adopted children, I'd give you money and shit. We ain't gotten to that point yet. TJ, yeah, I'm more like your adopted child. You guys have all adopted me. You guys are all my parents. Paul, do you use the same brand of office chair as me? I don't know, man, but if I do, I bet it would make a connection between the two of us that would never be able to be broken. An unshakable bond. Whatever happened to director? I don't know. Maybe he just got sick of being wrong all the time and disappeared into the inky blackness from which people like him crawl out. Maybe may the road rise to meet your feet, Brother Paul. Aye. May the sun always be at your back, the wind at your face, and may the road rise up to meet you. I need a small loan of $1 million, Paul. Sorry, Dad. Can't do it. Can't do it. Can you do any non-Western accents? Yeah. I do a lot of cruddy accents. On the recent patron-only episodes, I did a really haughty, upper crusty, probably really terrible British accent. I do a terrible Australian. I do a terrible Scottish. I do a terrible Irish. Yeah. The Jay Leno accent. Yeah. Yeah, my cars. What do you think? I like my cars. Yeah. Why do politicians always do that stupid pinch shit with their fingers when they speak? This? What are they doing? This? Celts versus Spaniards. In a fight to the death or what? What are you talking about? I remember you asking about your style on Twitter, and the stuff you wear suits you well. I honestly can't see you in what I wear. Like, you in a shirt and tie or a flannel would just be weird. I mean, I definitely dress the way I want to dress, but I have a feeling that it's mostly just shit that I used to wear when I was a teenager that I was comfortable in. That's one aspect. Being a fat dude, you come to kind of like have an aversion to clothes shopping, because trying on something that you think looks cool and then finding out that even though it's an extra large, it doesn't fit you is it's a pretty degrading experience to go through, especially as a kid, you know. As a grown-ass man, I just order shit from Amazon and then mail it back if it doesn't fit me, and it's not that big a fucking deal. But, you know, being a fat little kid and going to, you know, school clothes shopping with your mom or whatever, and picking out a shirt and then trying it on and it fits you, you look like a fucking sausage in a casing that's, you know, 1 or 2 sizes too small for the amount of meat they put in it, you know. You just look awful, bulgy, horrible. And so what I wear now is a reflection of trying to hide that fatness, I think, more than anything else in the world. Like, what you see when you look at the way I dress is me attempting to hide the scope and scale of my bulginess and fatness. I wear layers, you know? Like, look at this. Let me show you about layers, right? I got a sweater on, I got a t-shirt on, I got an undershirt on. That's 3 layers of clothes. Does it actually make me look less fat? No, not really. But that's the operative idea behind it. Wear something tight? No thanks. When your mom made you come out of the changing room and show her, even though the shit fit horribly, the worst, man. Oh, God. Don't even, just please, can we not? Can we not? You could jump off the balcony and still survive due to cushioning. I don't think that's the way it works, dog. I think I actually hit the ground harder than you, probably, right? Fuck. Every guy can identify with that. Yeah. Well, but you know I guess kind of the point I was getting to was that I never really learned what looks good, because there are ways that guys my size can dress. They're not gonna look skinny, but they'll look okay. They'll look respectable. They might look a little stylish. They might look cool. It's possible. I just don't know how to do it. I don't know what to wear. I don't know where to shop. I don't know where to find things that are bigger that would look cool on me, that would give me a sense of my own style and not just have me looking like a dude that lives under the bridge or lives on the beach in some Southern California town or some shit, you know. I just never got a sense of style. I never inherited a sense of what style was or a stylistic impulse. And now I feel like I'm living in a world where that's once again come to the forefront. You know, your dress code, looking good and feeling good. Paul, I want to see you and TJ in spandex rubbing butts. Oh man, you should have been present right after the last show we recorded, man, because you would have been a happy camper. I don't know how you nailed what me and TJ's favorite pastime together, you know, behind the scenes is, but yeah, you did it, man. You did it. You got there. Paul needs to get queer-eyed. Yeah, I kind of do. I would actually do that. Maybe not for the show, but if there was just like a group of gay guys that were like, Paul, we're taking you out. We're going to get you a new outfit. We're going to get you a haircut. I'd do that shit in a minute. I'd be like, I want to see what I look like. I want to see what me at my best looks like. Let's do it. Because I've never seen that. Say this in an Irish accent. Great Grimpen Minefield. That's Scottish. Great Grimpen Minefield. That's Irish. There you go. You gotta have more of a lilt in the back for the Irish. It's horrible accents, by the way. Both of those are terrible. Not the accents themselves, my rendition of them. Me too. I could maybe be hot. See? That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know. I know I'm still gonna look fat, but maybe I'll look cool fat. You know what I really want to do? And this is just silly probably, but I want to get like a hip hop stylist. I want to have a bunch of money and get like one of these dudes and point at Action Bronson and be like, I want a bunch of outfits so I can look like this everywhere I go. I want to look like Action fucking Bronson, man. They'd be like, all right, we can do that. Paul, you need dreads? No. No. No, 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 no. I want to see Paul dressed like Lil Pump. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. What if I started doing that? Like, what if I became like a little rapper all of a sudden? And I just came in front of you guys with this new persona. Know what I mean? Just doing another Highdeology, you know what I mean? Out here, you know, connecting with the fans and whatnot, you know what I mean? Sipping on some lean. I got some lean and some 40 in my cup right here. Damn, that shit got me floating, dog. Damn. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Ooh. Lil Pump. Yeah. You gotta say type shit. Type shit? I don't really hear that a lot. Lean. Ooh. How's your flow? At least as good as Lil Pump's. At least as good as Lil Pump's. Oh yeah, you gotta say low key a lot. That's true. That is a new one. It's like, I know a lot of people are hating right now on country music, but I'm low key into it, dog. I've been listening to some country music, and I'm low key in it. I'm low key about it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I dated some guy that used that word, broke up with him. Don't blame you. Dead ass, yeah. I hear that one a lot. That one's kind of, that one I've heard a lot before though. People used to say dead ass a lot back in the 90s. People from all different cultures. That one just got kind of folded into the hip hop lexicon. There is no Los Angelian accent. If there was, then women would put on in the sexy pile. Then women would put in the sexy pile or not. Los Angelian accent non-exist. What? Finna? Yeah, I'm finna bust a nut. Kind of like finna. I wouldn't use it myself, but I kind of like it. I'm finna bust a nut. Can you dance, Paul? Nah, not really. I can dance like in a funny way. I've got rhythm, so I can do like some stupid looking stuff to the beat and get some laughs, but as far as like actually dancing, nah. There's one dance I can do, and it's a dance that my mom named after her side of the family because everybody on her side of the family could do it, and it's like a little 1, 2, 3 cadence shuffle in place kind of dance. It's weird. I'd have to do it for you guys in a shot where you could see my full body one day. I won't say my mom's maiden name because I don't want to dox half my family, but it's called the blank shuffle. I could do that dance. Moonwalk. Yeah. I'll moonwalk for you. The salty shuffle. You guys will never guess it. In a billion tries, you'd never guess it. What was the shuffle out of the Goonies? The truffle shuffle. I can do that one too. I can do the truffle shuffle. What you drinking? Water. Tasty, tasty water. Filtered in my, what do they call those pitchers? What are those pitchers called? They have a, I have one of those pitchers that you pour the water in and it filters it, so it doesn't taste like ass and swamp water like the water. Yeah, Brita. Yeah, I got some Brita water in there. Water isn't really a fat person drink. I guess not. I mean, fat people drink water too. Is it the chicken dance? Everyone can do the chicken dance. No, it's not the chicken dance. It's a shuffle. Water's an everyone drink. Yeah, it's true. Everybody has to drink some water sometimes. I mean, I'm a fat fuck. I like soda. I like Kool-Aid. But I drink water too. Paul drinks melted butter. Fuck you. You're right, but don't point that shit out. Dancing is like karaoke. It's not about the skills, it's about the feels. That to a certain extent, that's true. To a certain extent. When you're just dancing with like your friends or whatever, and you're not, that's true. But there is something to be said for actually taking the time to learn the skill of dancing. And an actually trained dancer is going to tear it up. Where a guy like me is just going to shake his big fat ass all over the dance floor and not care what people think. I mean, that's really my dancing style. If I get out and I'm partying or whatever, that whole dance like no one's watching thing, I don't give a fuck. I'm out there, I know I look ridiculous, but I'm trying to have a good time. And if somebody laughs at it, I consider I've done them a favor. You're supposed to drink half your body weight in ounces a day of water. Oops, I guess. The ridiculous shuffle. Yeah. I was trying to do the math in my head. I'm supposed to drink 150 ounces of water a day then. Yeah, I don't drink anywhere near 8 to 12 cups of water a day, but maybe I should try. Maybe I should really like go look up what a dude my weight should be drinking in water every day and then try for a week to meet that goal and see how I feel. I bet I'd feel better. What do you want to bet? I would feel better, and I'd probably lose weight too. I'd probably lose weight just from cutting out soda, sweeter drinks, and filling my belly with something that isn't like meatloaf and gravy and mashed potatoes, you know? That's what I mean. I'd be less hungry. You lose weight if you drink a gallon of water a day. Jesus, that's a lot of water though. Yeah, you can get water. I'm not trying to like chug water all day. I'm just trying to like, let's go find a guideline. Whatever it is, you're supposed to drink 6, 7, 8 cups of water a day. I measure it out, I put it in a bottle, and I sit it next to me while I work. And then when I get thirsty, that's what I sip on. And at the end of the day, I try and chug down what's left, and I do that for a week and see how I feel. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. When I end this show, I'm going to go inside and find out a list of, like, find myself a reasonable amount of water for a dude like me to be drinking every day, and I'm going to do it. Try it for a week. See what I feel like. Once you drink a gallon for 3 days in a row, it'll be easily. Yeah, you guys all do it too. Let's try and hydrate ourselves. The Highdeology Hydration Initiative. Let's see if we all feel better about our lives and our stations and have more energy and stuff if we're actually drinking the amount of water our body needs to survive. Eh? You guys do it, I'll do it. We'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday. So we'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll drink nothing but water. I'll measure it out and put it in one of my little water bottles or whatever, and that's what I'll drink. Supposed to drink 64 ounces of water a day. That's 4 basic water bottles. That ain't shit. I can do that. I could drink 4 basic water bottles a day. I got it. For a week, yeah. I'm gonna try it for a week, and then we'll get together at the end of next week, Friday or Saturday or something. I'll do one of these. We'll see how I feel. See how you guys feel. Let's do it. Doesn't cost any money, right? You got a tap in your fucking house. 64 ounces of water a day. Let's do it. Hey, happy birthday, Paul, you lovable, cute, homeless-looking man. I don't know if you like tea, but I fill up a 2-liter bottle and drop a few tea bags in it. The cold steep gives you caffeine. Well, I'm not going to do that, but that's good for you. That's a lot of peeing, though. Yeah, probably, but it's probably good for you, right? You're flushing out all the toxins. There's some times where I can tell I just haven't drank any water. Like, I'll get up in the middle of the night to pee, and I'll look down, and it'll look like fucking nuclear yellow Gatorade hitting the toilet. Maybe even darker. Some days it's just like orange. It's like, ugh. That can't be good, right? What are you doing for birthday? Not really anything. We got a show. It was Monday. So I'll be finishing up research for that tonight. And then we'll be busting out a show for Monday. And then we're busy. Like, everybody's kind of busy this week. So I think Thursday, after we finish up some dank D&D behind-the-scenes stuff, we're all going to go out. Or those people that can come are going to come out. We'll go eat at a Mexican restaurant around here. That's the plan. That's dehydration combined with an excess of minerals causes kidney and bladder stones like a motherfucker. Yeah, I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit. So it's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. Ashley's birthday is October 28th, 2 days before Halloween. Let's have a dehydration initiative. Okay, well, we'll try that after we do the hydration initiative. Then we'll do a let's drink as little water as we can for every day and see how we feel at the end of the week. Rip. Rip. Rip, rip, rip. Water is fluid. Oh my God. Has it gotten to this point now? Have we reached this point? I think we have. It's an hour and 132